Deep. Very serious.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Family had your ex-husband killed to try to help you, didn't they?
No, that's completely untrue.
Very well. I do not wish to do this in front of the jurors at all, but it's very important that you're able to control your emotions.
So 1201, Ms. Magbanua again reached out for Mr. Garcia. 1207, Mr. Charlie Adelson is contacting Ms. Magbanua, a little over 3.5 minutes. 1230, Ms. Magbanua calls Mr. Adelson back, 53 seconds. There's an outgoing call at 102. It does not really have a duration, but there is an outgoing call in Mr. Adelson's records to Donna Adelson.
And this is at 1 a.m.?
That's at 1:02 a.m.
Okay, and then what does he do next?
And then at 1:03, immediately after, there is the outbound call to Ms. Magbanua for almost 20 minutes.
Weird.
A guy from Best Buy was at your house to work on your TV.
I have his name and everything at the house if you want it, because the boys broke the TV, so he gave me a choice of fixing it or getting a new one.
What time did he come to the house?
He called me at around 8. He was probably there until around 10.
Wendi Adelson's forensic extraction, or her Cellbrite report. So we're able to see other things that were contained in her phone. And one of the first things we see is that she had a calendar entry for that day for listed as fixed TV.
Now we see that it's deleted.
Yes.
When would that have been deleted?
Sometime prior to our analysis of the handset.
And your analysis of the handset was done that same day?
It was done, yes, the afternoon of the 18th.
Okay. So this calendar event, fixed TV, was deleted at some point before her phone was taken by law enforcement and looked at that afternoon.
That's correct. Then we see that there is an outbound call from Wendi Adelson to Donna Adelson.
And that's starting at 8:09 in the morning?
That's correct.
Okay.
An immediate return attempt. And then a text message. Again, this is from Wendi Adelson's handset itself, but there is a return text message or a text message from Donna Adelson to Wendi communicating about Best Buy and coming by for the repair of the TVs.
Okay, she says, Best Buy just called me and I told them to confirm with you. They are on their way over now to help you with the TV set in your living room.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a text from Wendi Adelson to Charlie Adelson stating, "This is so sweet."
We see that that's deleted.
It is, yes.
That would have also been deleted prior to law enforcement analyzing her cell phone that afternoon, the same day as Dan Markel's murder?
That's correct.
So then he kept them last night, Thursday night, and then he would have driven them to school. What time does he normally drop them off at school?
It varies. Sometimes he has breakfast with him. I got the call from him. It was 9:04, I think. Right. So he must have already just dropped them off. Like, I think he went straight from dropping off the boys to go to Premiere.
He called you at 9:02?
He called me at 9:02.
Mm-hmm.
The repair guy was there, and honestly, I leave my ringer off a lot of the time, so I didn't even hear the call come in. He left me a message. He said, I'm going to do an exercise class that gets out at 10:15 or 10:30, and then we can talk after that.
So did he say in that voicemail that he left you what his plans were in regards to the gym that day?
He did.
What exactly did he say about the gym?
About the gym, he said, I'm going to be at the gym probably between 9:15 and 10:30, but I'm happy to chat or meet with you. Maybe we can go for a walk at school or something like that. Let me know.
Okay. We're seeing a blue circle around a dark vehicle. Could you tell us what that indicates?
That is Mr. Markel's vehicle.
And this is him entering the gym at 9:11?
That's correct. He just came into the parking lot and is going around to the front side of the gym. This is Mr. Markel immediately preceding the video we just saw where he's coming into the front of the gym.
Right. And is he going to park somewhere?
Yes, he parks right behind that American flag.
An attempt from Charlie Adelson to call Wendi Adelson.
This is the same angle. It's just a little bit further to the left, and that is the front of the gym right there where the green Prius just drove right in front of the front door of the gym.
Okay. So they entered the parking lot through different entrances.
That's correct. They entered over off of the west side of the parking lot.
All right. So we see the Prius here, and we know where Mr. Markel's parked there behind the flagpole. What is that?
Correct. He's still in the vehicle, just exited the vehicle there, I believe.
All right. So the blue circle indicates that's him getting out of his vehicle.
Correct.
And where's the Prius at this time?
The Prius continued on through the parking lot on the north side. And
All right, now we're at 9:13 a.m. Is that Mr. Markel in the red?
yes, it is.
Do we have any reason to believe that any suspects entered the gym?
No, we do not.
And Mr. Rivera's handset has the events we see here between about 9:14 and 9:44, all of them together, that are communicating with two different cell sites and sectors, again, both of which would be consistent with a handset being at or near Premier Health and Fitness.
Sorry, you okay?
Yeah. No.
I meant to.
It's fine. Our last interaction wasn't nice.
What are you talking about, personal?
Yeah, I'm just looking here. I didn't want him to take the boys this afternoon. I had wanted to have them. And I talked over with my brother and realized, it's just their dad wants to take them swimming. It's not worth getting upset over. He sent me that message at 9:15 this morning.
And then no contact after that.
We had some texting contact. That's when I was saying that my last contact wasn't very nice. I was saying, well, I wanted to pick them up at 3, and he was saying, well, you are only allowed them after 4:30. And I was like, well, what about last week? I picked him up at 5, and he said I was just being nice. And I said, I guess nice was fun while it lasted.
Okay.
That's the last thing I said to him.
Okay.
All right, and what are we looking at here outside at 9:16 a.m.?
9:16, the green Prius is still driving through the parking lot, but it's coming back from where it had passed through. Coming back toward the gym. This is on the south side of the parking lot of the gym. And the green Prius just drove through there and is driving around the parking lot still.
And Mr. Rivera's handset has the events we see here between about 9:14 and 9:44, all of them together, that are communicating with two different cell sites and sectors, again, both of which would be consistent with a handset being at or near Premier Health and Fitness. And then a return call from Wendi Adelson to Charlie that lasted just over 18 minutes.
Did you talk to your brother on the day of your ex-husband's murder?
I did.
And about what time of day did you speak to him?
It would have been right after the repair guys were there, because that's when I called him to tell him, ask him whether I should get the TV repaired or buy a new TV. So It would have been morning.
How long did you talk to him?
I don't remember.
Does 18 minutes sound incorrect?
That sounds reasonable.
Okay. Did you talk to him about other things other than just the TV?
I really don't remember what else I talked to him about, but probably. Maybe I would have asked him about his work, or we would have caught up.
Did you happen to mention Dan Markel's plans to go to New York the next day?
I don't see why I would have.
What do you recall talking to your sister about?
I called her in the car on the way up to work, and I ended up talking to her. She's told me that she was having the TV set repaired. I thought she had told me that Lincoln had thrown something at it and broke the screen. So she was getting a TV fix. And then I was also, the reason I called her was because I was in a fight with Katie and I wanted to get her opinion on something. So I spoke to her and told her what I said to Katie, and she gave me sisterly advice like she usually does.
Again, the vehicle is turned around, is coming back toward the gym in the same parking lot.
Almost managed to get in a wreck there.
Just missed.
We know from Mr. Garcia's records, we have events at 9:36 a.m. and 9:58 a.m. where his handset is communicating with a cell site in a sector that will be consistent with Premier Health and Fitness.
And what about after that 18-minute call between Charlie Adelson and Wendi Adelson?
Well, this will probably be almost during that, but there's a 9:38 call, or just after that, from Charlie Adelson to Donna Adelson, an attempt for 30 seconds. And Mr. Rivera's handset has the events we see here between about 9:14 and 9:44, all of them together, that are communicating with two different cell sites and sectors, again, both of which would be consistent with a handset being at or near Premier Health and Fitness.
And Jake and Dan were talking. It's Dan, right? I don't really know.
Yeah.
Dan Markel, I think it's pronounced. Okay. And my name came up because I'm pretty good friends with Jake, and he said, "Oh, call Stu and talk to him about your concerns, your feeling about the school and what you're, because he works there, so he knows the inside." And so he asked me if I would contact Dan, and I sent Dan a text this morning.
Go ahead. Sorry, man.
Yeah, that's fine. I sent Dan a text this morning and said, "Hey, I'm available to talk anytime today."
And then at 9:57, again, an outbound from Charlie Adelson to Miss Magbanua, 12 seconds. Return call, 9:58, 13 seconds. And again, Mr. Adelson to Miss Magbanua for 6 minutes and 46 seconds. We know from Mr. Garcia's records, we have events at 9:36 a.m. and 9:58 a.m. where his handset is communicating with a cell site in a sector that will be consistent with Premier Health and Fitness. Well, what we see the 9:58 event, an incoming text. Charlie Adelson again attempts to call Wendi Adelson at 10:06 a.m. 10:07, 10:08. There's a couple of contacts between Ms. Magbanua and Mr. Adelson, one just over a minute and one about 9 seconds. And then 10:09, Charlie Adelson call to Ms. Magbanua for 5 minutes and 54 seconds.
Okay, what's happening here?
This is Mr. Markel exiting the lobby of the gym, coming through the lobby.
How long was Professor Markel inside the gym?
I believe about an hour and a half. I believe it's about 10:38 when he leaves, somewhere around there.
All right, now at 10:34, what do we see?
We see Mr. Markel walking away from the front doors of the into the parking lot toward his vehicle.
And that was, okay, so that's this morning.
And that's at 9:56.
Okay.
10:36, he said, thanks, what's your name? Because we don't even know each other. I'll try you shortly.
Okay, all
I
right.
tell him my name.
All right, so we saw Mr. Markel's vehicle leaving. Is that the Prius that was back there in that orange circle?
That's correct. They were in the far northwest part of the parking lot parked, and when he exited, they started to exit. And he exited on the Village Square Boulevard exit.
So we never saw anybody exit the Prius during the surveillance video.
No, we did
They
not.
stayed in the car the whole time.
That's correct.
All right, so where are we right here on the video?
This is right in front of the Circle K gas station, which is right on Thomasville Road at the Capitol Circle flyover. I believe it's Maclay Commerce Boulevard is the actual road that they're on.
All right, so if we're the bus, we're on Maclay Commerce.
That's correct. And the Circle K is to the right, and right in front of us is Thomasville Road with the divider where Capitol Circle flyover starts.
And what does the blue circle indicate?
That is the vehicle of Mr. Markel.
What time are we seeing him pass that area?
That is at 10:44.
Okay, so is that consistent with going back home from the gym?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. Proceed, please. And what does the orange circle indicate?
That is the green Prius that was in the parking lot of Premier Gym.
.505. What does this show?
So this is on Thomasville Road heading south, just south of the I-10. This is the entrance where the hospital is to the right. It's a red light.
And by hospital, you're talking about the new ER.
The new ER, exactly, right by I-10 and Thomasville Road.
Were you able to get the tag number from this image from the bus?
No, unfortunately, we weren't. The resolution on these cameras are set really low because they're saved on DVRs, and they don't want them to roll over too fast, so they set the resolution extremely low, and we were not able to pull anything out of that.
Where is Professor Markel's vehicle at this point?
It is past the red light. It's already made it through the red light. Still heading south on Thomasville Road.
And that's almost 10:48.
You made contact with him, which would have been, just to confirm, was 10:48 a.m. is when you finally got the call from him?
I'll pull it up. So, yeah. 10:48, he calls me.
Okay.
I guess that's what the green arrow means.
So you talked to him you were on the phone a total of 11 minutes and 39 seconds with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the last few minutes, we're trying to figure out what was going on with the situation.
Okay.
I could tell he was driving because there was a lot of just extra noise. It sounded like he was on speakerphone in his car driving.
Okay.
What does the orange circle indicate here? Where are we and what does the circle indicate?
We're still southbound on Thomasville Road. This intersection is Betton Rd, which is where Winthrop Park is. Betton Rd is where the cars are stopped at. In the left-hand turn lane on the far left side of the screen is the green Prius waiting to turn left on the Betton Rd.
And is that a route to get to Professor Markel's residence on Trescott?
That's correct.
All right, and that's 10:51 a.m.?
Correct.
Okay. Good Lord.
He's driving, and then it sounded like he stopped. The extra noise wasn't really there, and he said, hold on a second, there's someone in my driveway that's unfamiliar to me. And I'm pretty sure that's the words he used. And I said, sure, no problem. And he I guess, I don't know what he did. I don't know if he opened the door, got out of his car. I tried to just wait till he said, hey, you back? Or I'm back, you know. And that never happened. I remember 3 events after that point, because I was trying not to, you know, I was just waiting for him to come back. It was a loud sound, which sounded either like a grunt or something. It sounded like a person making the sound, but it didn't sound like a good sound. So my mind immediately went to like heart attack. But I think this guy's pretty young. So I stayed on the line instead of calling an ambulance right away. And so that was one sound. It was a loud grunt, just a loud sound. And then there was a lot of sounds that I couldn't make out. Either that the phone had broken, I thought, maybe it fell out of his pocket while he was talking to this person. I don't know. Lots of sounds. Couldn't make out the words, but there's definitely voices. Could have been the radio, I don't know. I don't know if he was near his car or he had already walked away from it. And then the third sound was heavy breathing, labored breathing. And I listened and I thought, this could be a heart attack. Or, I don't have a lot of experience with these things, heart attacks or anything. But it didn't sound good. And then I started saying, are you okay? Maybe maybe 3 or 4 times. Can I help you? You know, just different things. And then I decided to hang up.
We were working with an iPad on a couch, and we heard a noise, a loud bang. We weren't sure what it was, and I quickly got up to see what might have caused that noise. And there had been at the time some burglaries in the area, and I was concerned that perhaps that had been a burglary attempt. And so as I approached, we have a large window looking out on the street, and as I got to the window, I looked to the left and to the right because I wasn't sure where the noise came from. But on my right, as I looked out, I saw a car quickly back up out of the driveway and then head towards Betton Rd very rapidly.
What type of vehicle was it?
Well, I caught it out of the corner of my eye, so it was not, I didn't look at it real hard, but it looked like a Prius to me, looked like a silver or white colored Prius.
Anything about the way it backed out? Did it do that normally or something?
It just went very quickly, and that's what caught my attention.
All right. And which way did it go after it backed out of the drive there?
As it backed out of the driveway, it headed to the right, which was towards Betton Rd.
And what are we looking at on bus 707?
So this is northbound on Thomasville Road at Hermitage. This is at 10:55 a.m. and there's 2 lanes there. They're in the right-hand lane. The bus is in the right-hand lane, but the camera's on the outside of the bus looking backwards. So you'll see oncoming traffic coming behind the bus.
And what do we see here?
We see the green Prius pulling up next to the bus.
So this is 10:55. We last saw him at 10:51. Is that narrower murder window down to that 4 minutes?
That's correct. This is north of where the victim was, and this is coming from the victim's house.
I think we've prepared. Tell us what we're supposed to be looking for in this clip.
So you can see inside the vehicle, even though it has tinted windows, you can see the driver's wearing dark clothes, but the passenger appears to have a long sleeve white shirt on, and he's very animated in the passenger seat. You can also see some distinctive features of the car.
Okay. I think we've got this highlighted here in a moment. What are these distinctive features? Will you pause it here, please?
So the first one on the lower right-hand corner is what's called a tow hook cover. Vehicles in the bumper have some vehicles have a little plate in there that you can remove, and it has a metal hook inside of it, so a tow truck can hook to that metal hook and pull the car if it needs to. This particular vehicle is missing its tow hook cover. You can see there's a hole in the front bumper, so it's been removed and not been replaced. Also on the front windshield is a sun pass. It was affixed to the windshield. And then on the far left side of the screen is the black rear view mirror of the vehicle. Toyota Priuses made in those years had matching mirrors. The mirrors were painted with the car, same color of the car. And you can see in the video that the driver's side mirror was still painted, but the passenger side mirror was black, indicating it had been damaged and been replaced by an aftermarket mirror.
Okay. And what is a sun pass transponder?
Sun pass transponders are used primarily in South Florida, especially back then. We didn't really have any sun pass toll booths up here, but they're used to pay for tolls going on toll roads where you don't have to stop and pay cash on the toll booth. You can pay for it. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead. You can pay for it in advance, assign it to your car, create an account, and fix it to your vehicle so you don't have to stop going through toll booths.
When you observed that it appeared there was a sun pass transponder on this vehicle back at this time, when did you obtain this video, do you know?
This was back in 2014.
Okay. did it signify to you this vehicle may have come from South Florida?
That's correct.
What efforts were made to follow up on the Sun Pass?
So we ended up working with an investigator with Florida Department of Transportation who maintains Florida Sun Pass. So gave them subpoenas, and we ended up thinking the best route for somebody to go through South Florida, the Sun Pass, would be through Orlando. We obtained video in Orlando to try to see if that green Prius passed through any of the toll booths there. We also obtained a list of all green Priuses in that year range that had a registered Sun Pass to it.
How many of those were there?
Thousands.
All right, let's let this exhibit finish. For our view here, can you explain what this is?
This is the same bus as the light turned green at Hermitage going north on Thomasville, and this is the green Prius passing the bus.
And then this is where you try to call him back at right at 11.
Right. So, right, he said there's an unfamiliar person in my driveway. I called back again. It went to voicemail.
So that's 11 o'clock call, right?
Right. That's 11 o'clock. 43 seconds. Went to voicemail. I hung up.
Maybe after the repair guy left, so maybe at like this morning, like at 11ish or something.
All right. So you're at your house with the repairman. He leaves. You go back to working on your papers.
After he left, I kept working on a paper, and I emailed the paper to a librarian at school to work on some of the citations.
Okay.
And I don't think I talked to anyone else, but I was just working for an hour or so from the house. I was going to take a shower, but I didn't. I ran out of time.
And then the "Are you okay?" is after the incident.
Okay, that's 11:01, like you told me earlier as we sent it. Okay.
Right. Texted him, thinking, oh, maybe something happened to his speaker because I couldn't. But then the labored breathing was very clear, like the phone was like right here or right here. Just very clear, no question about what it was. Texted him, "Are you okay?" No response.
So I quickly ran back to the house. It's not very far away, as you can see, and got my phone and then called 911.
It's right next door to my house, which is 2122 Trescott Drive.
Can you repeat that for verification?
2122 Trescott Drive, the T.
Okay, and the phone number you're calling from?
I'm calling from 850-212-4623.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
We heard a loud bang and the car pulled away from next door. I came over and looked in, the garage door was up, and I thought the gentleman was backing out. And I went back to my house, but he never backed out. And I came back over, and his driver's side window was shattered, and he's battered, he can't answer. He's inside. I don't know if somebody tried to shoot him or if he shot himself or what. I don't know.
And was that this location, correct?
Right next door. I'll give you mine. I don't know his address. It's next door.
Okay.
He sent an ambulance in a hurry. EMT. He's still alive. He's moving.
Okay. What's going on with him?
I don't know. The driver's side window is all bashed in. He's inside. The car is running, and he's got blood all over his head. He's not responding to me. That number, by the way, is 2116. 2116.
So I went to look up his address because it sounded like he just got home at his driveway. So I went on the Leon County Property Appraisers, typed in his name, found his address, and called the police. I said, I was talking to a friend of a friend I don't really know well. It seems like something happened. He said that there's an unfamiliar man in his driveway.
Did he recall if he said man? Or
No, he did say person. He said unfamiliar person. Okay. My recollection.
Yep.
After, the address is 21 something Trescott.
And you did that by looking up on the property appraisers?
Right. It does a reverse lookup. I can look at the address. And I thought that was the best, tactic to get his address real quick. He was the only Dan Markel too, so it really helped. He said on the phone that someone else has already called. And I said, oh, good. I hope everything's okay. He said some sort of accident happened. And he said, but thanks for calling as a second call. We'll make sure someone gets out there or someone's already out there.
I called, but I think we could see what time I called him. I thought it was more of like, let's see, recent calls. I called him. Well, that's him calling in at 9:02. I called him at 11:42 and got his answering machine. He left me a message. I called him at 11:42, left a message, and then I called him back. I have the phone record. He called at like 9. And he told me he went to Premiere. So he says, I don't know, you remember how I had a voice thing? Like I hadn't talked to him. He was like, I know your voice is bad. Like, is today work? And he said we could go for a walk at the law school or we could talk.
Can you, let me get over this hump, okay? Can we do that first? All right. Can you tell me what time you left your house this morning?
Yeah, I was there. I didn't leave this morning. I didn't leave until noon.
Okay.
I left my house around 12:15 because I thought I'll get the bourbon and then I'll get some gas for the car and get super glue for one of the boys' toys. And I was trying to do all I can before meeting my two friends at 1.
We see some events 12:18, 12:19. There's 2 incoming calls from this 305 number, very short duration, and we don't see locations for those. So those calls did not reach the handset. Powered off, battery went dead, broken, whatever it may be, but those calls did not reach the handset. 1229 and 1230, we see these short codes or these short 3-digit numbers here, and those are associated with T-Mobile voicemail events. And then immediately at 1230, we have the outgoing voice call that provides location. So that would indicate that the handset was now back in service with the network.
Could that be consistent with him turning off his phone after he left Premiere and then powering it back on after he figured he was far enough away from Tallahahsse?
It could be consistent with that, yes. So the next event that we see is at 12:30 p.m. We can see here that it has traveled a reasonable distance from Tallahahsse before we see that next event.
And is he the orange dot here with 12:30 p.m. next to it?
He is, yes.
Okay. That's looks around about Gainesville-ish area?
North of that, yes.
Little north of Gainesville. All right. So that's the first phone call that Garcia made after leaving Premiere?
Yes, that's the first event with location that we have.
And then who was his first call at 12:30 when he was north of Gainesville? Who was the first call that either of these Garcia or Rivera makes after the murder?
Miss Magbanua.
Okay, can you show that to us? That was the 12:30 call?
Yes,
We see a very short duration. Is that 20 seconds?
it is. Yes.
Okay.
Looking at her records, she has a rather lengthy voice call, begins at 12:31 p.m. We see that's on a cell site that would be consistent with the general area of her residence. We see at 12:35 p.m., kind of in the middle of the screen here, her handset's now kind of halfway between there, and then that call ends at 12:47 p.m. and it ends on a cell site here very close to ABC liquor store. So looking at that, again, the receipt time 12:49, the call ending time 12:47. We can kind of approximate that she would have been by the Trescott residence, at 10 or so minutes earlier than that.
Oh my god. And I tried to drive up Trescott and I saw that it was blocked.
It was blocked at some point. I'm not sure what time it was
And I
blocked.
just thought, oh, there's maybe some trees down or something. Because sometimes
Oh, you're saying as you drove down which one of the side roads?
when I'm going to a friend's party tonight and it's a oh my god, what am I even talking about? I needed to buy, it's a stock the shelf engagement party, and so I went to buy bourbon.
Okay.
So I went to drive from my place up Trescott to get to ABC Liquor, and it was blocked, so I just turned around. I was on the phone at the time. I wasn't paying a lot of attention.
Right.
So I just turned around and drove up the other way. I just thought, oh, sometimes when I lived there were electrical things that would happen. So I went to drive to ABC Liquors and I went to go through Trescott and it was blocked off. So I went around.
Do you recognize this vehicle?
It looks like a vehicle that I saw approaching the scene that day.
I'm sorry, will you repeat your answer?
It appears to be a vehicle that I saw approaching the scene that day.
Did you know at the time that Wendi Adelson drove this type of vehicle?
Yes.
All right, so you noticed this vehicle or a vehicle identical to this one approach your position?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did the vehicle do when it approached your position?
Just stopped pretty quick and turned around and headed back in the other direction.
Did the driver stop and inquire of you what the activity was at the Markel residence?
No.
Do you know what time of day that was that you observed this vehicle approach the roadblock?
Sometime a little afternoon. Probably around closer to 1.
And just to clarify, were there any other roadblocks between where you were positioned and encountered this vehicle and the Centerville intersection?
No.
I want to talk about where you went when you left your residence on the day of the murder. You tried to turn onto Trescott and then you ended up where?
I went, I was supposed to go to a party that night, a Stock the Bar party. So I went to a liquor store to pick up what they had asked for as the present for their party. So I went to the liquor store, I picked up the alcohol, I stopped, I think I got gas, and then I went to lunch to meet my friends.
Would you have been able to see the roadblock from the intersection of Centerville and Trescott?
No.
If you had just started to turn onto Trescott and then rerouted back onto Centerville, would you have been able to see the roadblock that way?
No, you'd have to go a considerable amount around.
Okay. And from the roadblock where you were positioned, could you see the crime scene?
Yes.
Now, did Dan Markel have he and Wendi Adelson's children the morning of July 18th?
He did, yes.
All right, and he had taken them to school that morning, right?
Yes.
All right, looking at her cell bright, were you able to see her calls that morning after she would have passed this Trescott Drive area?
Yes.
All right. After driving by that street, the road being blocked, the crime scene tape, and police cars, did she attempt to contact Dan Markel to make sure he was okay or the kids were okay?
Here we've kind of highlighted the calls that were made after that time, starting at 12:47, and we can see that they're to a variety of people. None of them were Mr. Markel.
Did she attempt to contact Creative Preschool to make sure the kids made it to school? There wasn't some type of incident at the house.
She did not.
Did she attempt to call 911 or law enforcement to check and see what was going on since her kids were staying on that street?
She did not.
She just continued on to ABC and then up to Mosaic?
Correct.
Were there any liquor stores in that area back in July of 2014?
There were, yes.
Okay, which ones?
So we have the Publix liquor store. They're off of Thomasville Road, Market Square Liquors, Market Square Shopping Center, and there is another ABC location a little further north on Thomasville Road.
What route could she have taken to one of those 3 liquor stores?
Of many, one of the routes is the one depicted here by the red dashed lines, which would have taken her up Centerville Road and then over to Thomasville and down to Mosaic.
What route did she actually take to go to the ABC liquor down on Thomasville and then to Mosaic?
We can see here her path would have been the purple line and the shortest distance again being the red dotted line.
Now I know, obviously that looks like the shortest distance, but how much shorter are we talking about?
Oops. So we can only, our mapping, our GIS software is able to provide approximate travel times and distances, kind of like Google Maps. And so what we can see is that the miles for the shortest route would have been 3.63, and they estimate travel time in about 11 minutes. The other travel was almost 9.5 miles, which they estimate travel at a little over 20 minutes.
And I was supposed to go to a friend's engagement party tonight, and it's called a Stack the Bar engagement. So I went to go find Bourbon, and then I looked for Bourbon. That's why I was trying to show the officer, like, I have receipts from all these things, but...
And the liquor store purchase appears to have occurred at 12:49 based on the receipt. Do you have any reason to dispute that
No,
timing?
that sounds right.
I was trying to do all I can before meeting my 2 friends at 1.
And where was the restaurant located?
Mosaic, I actually don't remember. I just remember I would go north on Thomasville Road.
All right.
And so it was...
And is the restaurant where law enforcement came to speak with you and you ended up going with them to the police station, right?
That's correct.
Right.
What we see here is all the communication between all of these parties, starting at that 12:30 call from Garcia to Magbanua and then down through midnight that night?
Down through 10:20 in this particular summary. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I just listened to my voicemail.
What'd you hear? Who was your voicemail?
It's from Lacey Carey, who is my real estate agent.
Would you ever ask someone to do something like this?
Not in a million years.
Okay. Do you think someone would do this for your benefit without asking you?
No.
What good does it serve?
I made my brother, the one, his name's Charlie, the one I'm really close to, he makes a lot of jokes in bad taste, and it was a joke he made. He bought the TV for me this morning that got broken, and I was talking to him about whether it made sense to pay to fix it or whether I should get a new one, and it was always his joke that, like, he knew Danny treated me badly, and it was always his joke. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman, and it was cheaper to get you this TV, so instead I got you this TV. Okay. I mean, he would never he's my big brother, and he's been taking care of me since I was little, but he would never. And I told that to the repair guy this morning.
Right. It's okay.
He asked me how much it cost, and I said I didn't know because it was a gift, because my brother said it's cheaper than a hitman. It was my divorce present.
Okay.
Such a horrible thing to say. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But even my family, who felt like I had been mistreated, would never do something like this. Never.
The brother that you're really close to, the one that joked about the TV and everything, what'd you say his name was?
Charlie.
Charlie, and he's in Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what kind of car he has.
He has like 5 cars.
Can't tell me all of them.
He drives I think one of them's an unmarked police car.
Oh, really?
He's a bit of a character.
Okay.
Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
All right, let me go get the form for the phone, okay?
Oh my God.
You are.
I'm so sad for... I'm usually a lot more fun. I would never do something like that.
I know.
About what should happen to that person?
For prosecution purposes.
No.
Is there any way that you would think
somebody tried to kill my ex-husband? They should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Regardless of who it is?
I mean, it would be different if I thought it were my brother, but I don't think it was my family. Anyone outside my immediate family, that's a tough one. Okay. But I don't think my immediate family did this, so okay. If it's anybody else, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, like, I would be one of the people that they would think did it.
I mean, you have certainly the most contentious relationship with Danny that anyone has.
Yeah.
And then we see communication from the iCloud through the evening hours of the 18th between Mr. Adelson and Ms. Magbanua.
Okay. What we see here is all the communication between all of these parties, starting at that 12:30 call from Garcia to Magbanua, and then down through midnight that night?
Down through 10:20 in this particular summary. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then we see communication from the iCloud through the evening hours of the 18th between Mr. Adelson and Ms. Magbanua.
Okay.
So again, yes, we see their travel back. There's fewer communications, fewer dots on the map during their return.
Fewer dots than when they drove up?
Correct. Sorry, yes.
Okay.
We see they reach the South Florida area in just after 6 p.m. On the evening or afternoon of the 18th.
What we see here is all the communication between all of these parties, starting at that 12:30 call from Garcia to Magbanua, and then down through midnight that night?
Down through 10:20 in this particular summary. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then we see communication from the iCloud through the evening hours of the 18th between Mr. Adelson and Ms. Magbanua.
Okay.
And then the first thing we see or information we have is a ATM transaction for Mr. Rivera.
Okay. Based on the ATM transaction that was seen in the bank records, what did law enforcement do?
So first we look at the location information from the handsets to make sure that it's consistent. We do see around the time of that transaction, we do see both Mr. Rivera and Mr. Garcia's handsets communicating with cell sites around the area of the bank. And then investigators were able to locate the surveillance video from the ATM. We can see Mr. Rivera, see Mr. Garcia in the passenger seat, and we see the green Prius.
Okay. what we see here is all the communication between all of these parties, starting at that 12:30 call from Garcia to Magbanua, and then down through midnight that night?
Down through 10:20 in this particular summary. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So again, yes, we see their travel back. There's fewer communications, fewer dots on the map during their
Fewer
return.
dots than when they drove up?
Correct. Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
We see they reach the South Florida area in the just after 6 p.m. On the evening or afternoon of the 18th. Events earlier on the lower right-hand side, we see cell site events in the 7:10 to 8:46, which will be consistent with Ms. Magbanua's residence. The next events we see 9:20, 9:23, be consistent with her moving away, and ultimately 9:42, one of those last events we saw with Mr. Garcia, her handset is now communicating with the cell site in proximity to Mr. Rivera's residence. We know that also on the way is Ms. Mascaro's residence, relatively on the way.
Okay, so that could be consistent with her dropping her children off at Mascaro's and then heading back up towards Rivera's residence?
Yes.
At 8:23, he says, just finishing, I'm not feeling good. Maybe we can just hang out at my house?
That's correct.
Okay.
Here, for Ms. Magbanua, her 9:46, 9:47 events, and looking at the sector that she's using, again, consistent with Mr. Rivera's residence. And if we look at all of the cell site usage for Mr. Garcia and Mr. Rivera, they are also consistent with the area of Mr. Rivera's residence.
Okay. And who did she speak to on the phone during the 10 o'clock hour?
There's contacts with Mr. Adelson. We see at 10:12 there is Mr. Adelson attempts to call Ms. Magbanua 2 seconds, and then at 10:20 Ms. Magbanua calls Mr. Charlie Adelson for 1 minute and 56 seconds.
Were you able to find any other evidence about Katherine Magbanua and Charlie Adelson's plans that night?
Yes, again, going back to her location information here, the 10:20, 10:22, she is consistent still with the area of Mr. Rivera's residence for those two events. Well, we see communication with Mr. Adelson and Mr. Garcia, but the communications with Mr. Garcia end here. This 9:46 is the last event where her handset communicates with Mr. Garcia's that evening.
Okay. And who also is she talking with that evening?
In addition to the communication with our subjects that we've been looking at, we've added in Ms. Yindra Mascaro, and we see that Ms. Magbanua is communicating with her through the evening hours also on the 18th of July.
Okay.
First event here, 9:19 p.m. We see the cell site is represented by the green dots. At the top of our screen, 9:21, a little further south, and then 9:40 and 11:39. The next events we have with location would be consistent with the area of his residence.
Okay.
Okay, here goes. This is the worst day of my life. Maybe I should text them if I can't reach them. Hi, Mom. How's it going? Mom, I need you to sit down. I am fine. The boys are fine. I need you to sit down. I'm fine, and the boys are fine. Danny has been. You can put me on speaker. Yeah. Danny has been shot. And I don't think he's gonna make it. And so I know. So I found this out around 1 or 2 today, and I'm at the police station, and I'm trying to help them figure out who may have done this. The boys
The boys are fine. I had Lynn and Alan pick them up from school, and they're with Lynn and Alan right now. And I'm gonna leave here soon and go be with them. But I really need you to come here and be with me. But I want you to either fly, I mean, obviously you can't leave right now, but I need you to get yourself together. If it's too much to drive, I'd really rather that you flew up. I'm at the police station, and I'm gonna leave soon and be with the boys before they go to bed. They're with Alan and Lynn, and they're totally fine. Yeah, the boys are fine, but they don't know anything yet. In his house, I know. I know. So I just need you to calm down before you get in the car, okay? Okay, so, and it's, it's evening, so if you want to come here tomorrow, I have a lot of people that'll, be here with me, and, we'll have a lot of support. So I want you to take your time and just be safe in getting here, but I'd like you to come when you can, okay? Okay, all right. I love you. I think Jane might, I have the car here, but Jane might take me. I'm not going to be alone, so I have a lot of support, and I'll be fine. Yeah, if you could just come here, that would be great. He's in the ICU in the hospital. Okay, but be careful, okay? Okay. Okay. Okay, love you too. Bye. Mom. Oh.
You did awesome with that call.
Thanks.
You were so stressed out about it, and you handled it.
I just wanted you, I talked to Alan, okay? And just because my suggestion to him, just because we was if he goes to the house.
Sorry, my mom might be calling back because she heard me. Mom? You did, yeah. I just wanted to ask if you could just tell Charlie for me. I just don't want to be making calls right now, so if you could just tell Charlie for me, that would be great. Okay, and just, it's on the news a little bit that there was a shooting on Trescott, and so I'm starting to get a lot of calls, and I'm not going to be answering them unless they're from you, so I would really try not to tell anybody what's going on just yet, just because, he's in the hospital, and Charlie, I talked to Charlie earlier today, obviously before any of this happened. I talked to him at 10 this morning, and he said that he was coming to visit you guys this weekend, and he had plans, and he sounded good. I just can't, Mom. So can you just tell him? Yeah, just tell him for me, and then I'm sure I'll talk to him soon. But I don't want to be on the phone unless I have to right now. Okay. Okay. All right. Love you too. Bye. My mom handled that pretty well. Could you hear her?
Yeah. I think, because you're a mama, but moms always go in that natural instinct to kind of protect and help and...
Yeah. I'm waiting to hear from you whenever you can. That's Jean. When she said she's here if I need company or a ride, do you think she meant here, metaphysically, or here, in the lobby?
No, I think that I would hope I'm going to be
going back to work. So you can have my computer if you need it, and I'll figure out what to do. Okay.
You get it back.
Okay.
This email to Jeff on the 14th. I haven't looked at any of that stuff.
Yeah, I could probably find it for you, but get my.
Was there some evidence in the iCloud involving messages between Donna Adelson and Charlie Adelson, where she says she is at his house on the evening of July 18th during a time when Katherine Magbanua is still more consistent with Rivera's house.
Yes,
Okay, can you show us that message?
I can.
Okay, so Donna Adelson here says call us ASAP at 7:12 p.m.
Yes,
And then at 8:59 p.m. she says outside your house.
yes,
And Charlie Adelson says 10 minutes at 9:19.
correct.
Okay. About 10 minutes from when he sent that text message, so maybe about 9:30 p.m. Is that when he's consistent with being at his house?
Yes,
And according to this message, his mother is already there.
that's correct.
But let's think for a second about this potential explanation that we might hear from the defense. That Donna Adelson, this wonderful woman, would never have been involved in a murder plot that included sending two thugs twice in early June and in the middle of July to kill Dan Markel. And both times, Dan Markel had the custody of the boys. The boys were with him during the time period when the killers were following him around, right? So think about that for a second. Dan Markel, divorced, a law professor, has a beautiful girlfriend, also a law professor in New York City. If you are planning a murder, if you want to take care of this problem in North Florida, get rid of it forever. Bring those kids and give her all your love and overcome and override the pain and loss that those kids will have from the loss of their father by pouring your love to them. If she was involved, or if she knew about what Charlie was going to do and how he was planning it, and even if she didn't get involved, because that's not the state's theory, right? She according to the state, they're not going to say that she was involved in the planning. But even if she had knowledge, then she would never have approved something like this. Or even if it was just Charles doing it. What makes more sense? Does it make more sense if you want success, if you want to kill Dan Markel, to do it while he has the kids, while he's distracted by them, while he has a particular schedule, while you will for certain know that he's in Tallahahsse, he's got the kids, he's got to take him to daycare every day, his movements are more predictable, easier to follow him, easier to kill him. The instructions would be to the killers, you're going to get paid for this, but you better not do it when the kids are around, okay? Just follow him, and obviously if you're going to do the murder, do it after the kids are in daycare. Never do it if the kids are around. And if these guys have any heart, of course they would do that. They wouldn't want to kill the father in front of the kids. That's not a good professional hitman move right there. Most professional hitmen have some ethics, and that ethics includes not doing it around the kids of the victim. So that makes sense, doesn't it? That they would do it exactly while Dan Markel had custody of the kids, because if not, what happens with a divorced, sort of single guy who is a professor, who's got a girlfriend in New York, while he doesn't have the kids? His movements, totally unpredictable. You don't know he's going to be in Tallahassee. He can drive anywhere. He can go anywhere. He can do whatever he wants. He has no kids, nobody around to hold him down. Much harder to kill him then. Make sense? Hold on. I guess we can remove the background noise with the studio.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we are. Is it filming?
Yes.
So here we are, day one of trial. And we see Donna crying when the medical examiner is on the witness stand. And guess what? Guess what the jurors are going to think? Maybe they think this poor lady really feels distraught about what happened to Dan Markel. Or will their thoughts about this behavior, is it real or is it a performance, be affected when they see Donna's email to her daughter, Wendi, saying, hey, you got to put up the performance of your lifetime before the hearing on the motion to move the children to South Florida. The performance of a lifetime. You got this on you. Wendi said once that she's just like, that she's who she is thanks to her mom. So you can expect, of course, that Donna Adelson, who has been on a show on TV when she was younger, that she in her heart knows that she's the best actress around. I mean, at least that's what the prosecution is going to try to argue. Of course, the defense position is she's wonderful and she's so distraught about what happened to Dan Markel. And who do you think will be more believable, the prosecution or the defense? Now, whatever she does while she's watching the trial is not evidence, but keep that in mind. The jurors are going to see that every day. She already got scolded once by the judge. We'll see how she behaves moving forward. Thanks for watching again. Deep Dive True Crime.
Thank you for watching today's Deep Dive. If you found this case interesting or have any thoughts, feel free to leave a comment below. Remember, this community thrives on smart and respectful discussion. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay on track with our new case videos. We cover new details, court hearings, interviews, interrogations, and more. This is Maya with Deep Dive True Crime and Mentor Lawyer Justice Network, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Very serious.